Well, we are going to get into the bans here, and they're coming thick and fast. So for Sinners Never Sleep, Nunu taken out, Rumble and Twisted Fate on the other side for TCMZ. There's a Malphite ban. Will they hit Ari as the final one?
Okay, so they might, but the Nunu ban, so it was Sinners Never Sleep response to maybe a potential double 80 comp again. Like, they didn't want I'm So Fresh running that Nunu to go for that potentially.
Yeah.
So that's gone, so that's the way of eliminating that. And Ari ban, I think, is very likely.
Well, running it down, and there is the Ari ban, so not wanting to face up against Ari again here.
But look what's available. Zach slipped through finally. Are we going to... I'm curious to see if we're going to have him picked up, because we haven't seen him earlier today.
Thresh, Sona.
I mean, there's so many champions. It's the whole, you know, if you don't let one OP champion get through. Twisted Fate, I mean, he's been banned out 100% the time so far. The Sona ultimates, I have to say, like, have been pretty spot on. We've seen in this best of 3 already, but you see him hovering over Zach. It kind of maybe will say that they want to go for it, but as you mentioned, like, Thresh, Zach available, he's trying to decide between the two, or well, I guess the 3 with Sona. And it will kind of show their composition a little bit, and I'm curious to see what TCM wants to go off of that, because either they won't get Zach, Thresh, or Sona, but that means they're going to get 2 of those. Like, they won't get 1, but they'll be able to get 2 if they want.
Yeah, and with Sona going through their first pick for Sinners Never Sleep, and hovering over the Thresh and the Zach there, maybe trying to lure TCM into that one. And, well, if that's what they were trying to do, they've probably just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
picking up both.
The thing is, I think that'd actually be a Zach jungler at I'm So Fresh. Like, he's the type of jungler that plays a lot of, not weird champions, but not necessarily champions that are like in the spotlight, you know, like not Naz's Volibear, Jarvan kind of thing, which we haven't even seen Jarvan today, which is kind of surprising. But that's going to be a really interesting lineup they have, so they could obviously pair that with an Orion if they want, but I don't think they're going to do that yet again this time, because you have that nice Let's Bounce, you can knock them up, you have the lockdown out of Thresh. I think a Jarvan, actually, if they wanted to run Jarvan jungle and like top lane Zach, that would be really strong for them.
Well, we're going to find out. Sinners Never Sleep here, currently hovering over an AD carry in the form of Caitlyn. And looks like we will have a Nasus now in the jungle, which was banned out in the last game for TCM.
So that kind of gives you the sign that you can go Misfortune against that if you want to as an AD carry, because that way you're not really dependent on an attack speed. You can build that Bloodthirster, Last Whisper combo, and just depend on your ultimate to really do a huge chunk of damage. But you will be against a Caitlyn unless you want to go that have that lane swap actually happen. And I think they're gonna. I think most likely they're going to pick a top lane here. I don't think they want to pick up their AP carry, because when you're on the red side, you have that opportunity. Like Kassadin, we saw him in LCS all the time, and if he was picked, he was usually very last pick on the red side. You have that opportunity to go for it if you want.
Yeah, there's definitely that in there as well. But right now we have the Thresh, who will be support, and Zach, who could be top lane, could be jungle. Kha'Zix would be expecting to go into the middle lane, but could also end up being in the top.
It also could be jungle. I'm So Fresh does jungle Kha'Zix, so that is a very high possibility. And if he's gonna, you know, have some sort of secret strategy, it's time to use it. Like, you can't lose this game. You could not lose this game. Doesn't matter if you show your hand. You have to win this. So that is always a potential. As you see him throw their hands up, like, yeah, Heimerdinger. That's not gonna happen.
No, we will fail just laughing at that one. So guessing it's not gonna be Heimerdinger that's picked up in this one. Tabs with Fizz, probably not the best AD carry that he could run.
Probably not.
I mean, we would probably be baited into that one if it was, you know, Tabs in the middle lane hovering over Fizz, but it's not going to be the case. Looks like we may, though, see Karthus Darius.
Okay, so now Jarvan isn't necessarily a great pick against that combo now, because if you lock Karthus up and you lock anyone on your team, you're like, hey, I'm Jarvan, I'm helping, you're going to get them killed kind of thing. Yeah. Not switching Darius, who can pull you out of it. So I don't think Jarvan would be a good pickup, but like, they need potentially a mid lane, potentially a jungler, potentially a top lane, and it's up to them to choose what exactly they want.
Well, with that, they can certainly switch around these roles. Let's have a look. Still 35 seconds for them to lock in there.
Shed is available.
Shed is available. Again, slipped through completely without being involved.
And there was really nice thing you can do with Shen with a stealth champion. I mean, it looks like we're not going to see it, but if he's stealthed up, you can ulti in and they won't see you coming. And that, like, if you pair that, if you get Twitch, you know, balls up to stand the enemy team, and then you get a nice taunt with Zach, you know, let it bounce, you can really destroy a teammate. But it looks like they're going to go for Italy, so well, it looks like it will be in Italy. I was about to say, I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be going, but now we're sure.
Looks like it will be a middly to go up against this Karthus here in that lane. Seems like I'm So Fresh will be taking Zach into the jungle this time around, which now we've seen him played very, very well in the top lane, but I think jungle really is the role that he's very much excelling at, just because of his kit.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Diamondprox play him in the jungle once, and it was, well, we were all blown away. It was just so perfect. Like, the Let's Bounce, even as a jungler, you could pretty much one-shot the AD carry if you can stay on top of him.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like it will be I'm So Fresh in there. Let's have a look at a couple of summoner spells here. Nanook this time going to be going with that cleanse, so wants to make sure he's got that added in. Looks like Caitlyn going to be going for Flash Barrier. So, and here we go then. How is this one all going to work out? Again, Jason, level 1. Don't expect to see anything,
yeah,
to be honest.
If anything, it's going to be something we saw Gambit actually do with a stealth champion, but I don't really expect him to do that. Is just, you know, spot for him real quick, and then if they have an opportunity, they're going to go for it. But, you know, you're running in Italy, so your Spear's not going to do too much damage. Your auto attacks won't really do too much. You took Trap already, so it's not going to matter. So just going to play safe, just try to guarantee their own jungle, and then just try to win this game normally.
I see Nanook there just hanging around in the river. Obviously, he can, with that stealth check up, but usually still a dangerous thing to do, especially at rank 1, when by the time you've gone in there and trying to get out again, you're going to become on stealth. So it looks like level 1, no big infades coming down. And so Fresh just up at that top side. Zola is up there as well. Nidalee Thresh and the Rat on the bottom side of the jungle for TCM.
I'm trying to think that they cannot afford to not get, well, that's a double negative, but they can't afford to not get Wolves over for their AD carry and support. Like, they have to pick it up because they'll be against Soda Caitlyn, who has a lot of poke against you, and you have no sustain. So if you get poked down early on, you're going to have a really hard time in your lane. And it looks like they will be able to get him here, as... Actually, it doesn't look like they will be able to at all, but they're going to go for a lane swap anyway. So they're actually sending Twitch Thresh top to have an easy time top lane versus Darius, which honestly, it's not a bad idea, because if Darius gets somewhat fed, like, that ultimate late game is just devastating. Like 700-800 true damage on you just destroys your team. And when you have a, you know, semi-squishy lineup like this with Kha'Zix, with Twitch, or even with Nidalee, that can really hurt you.
Yeah, I see here Nuke actually doing the wraiths at the start. Bottom lane for Sinners Never Sleep has picked up the Golem camp down on that bottom side. And the jungler I'm So Fresh is going to be kicking off with the blue buff, which will go down here very, very quickly with the help of that Kha'Zix. So 2v1s on both sides. You can see that Nidalee already got a load of traps in around that middle area, as you would expect from a Nidalee here at level 1.
I know what you're going to ask me, Joe. Which lane has a better time in here in this 2v1 switch?
Actually, I wasn't going to ask you this time around.
Oh, really? Okay, then we can skip it.
But Jason, what do you think?
I think I'd have to say that Kha'Zix has a better time. So he's on the red side. He has his potential blue buff to pick up if he needs to, or if he wants to, or if he can. But he also has sustain from his Void Spikes if he's staying next to minions. He can AoE the minions a lot quicker, he can clear it a lot quicker. Though, in terms of ganks, if Nasus does visit the top lane, Zoro can help a lot more to gank than Zoller will.
Well, we can see already that Sinners Never Sleep going for fast damage onto the tower. And don't forget, in game number 1, we saw that Nunu helping out in the top lane, first of all, for TCM to take the first turret of the game. But obviously that's not quite the same scenario here with that Zac in the jungle. But it looks like Sinners Never Sleep have got the same strategy on their side, which is push, push, push.
And it looks like I'm So Fresh is reacting to this. He's already heading down towards the bottom side of the map. We do see Nunia over towards the top side just to make sure that he doesn't get pushed. I mean, the wave wasn't even pushed in that bad, so Zoro would have been fine anyways, but just try to get a little bit of experience. Because, I mean, we've seen it so many times that if you can be Nasus, get level 6, you can do Dragon yourself pretty much, because that ultimate is just so strong.
Well, let's see if that's an option. Darius actually left his turret there and went up in towards the brush, and he's going to get hooked in because of that. There's a Flay going down, and he's going to get the slow out onto him, but not too much damage coming from that one. But that's the thing, not too much damage can soon pile up into you have to go home.
Yeah, and look at that turret right now, Joe. I mean, down to a third life right now. I'm So Fresh didn't come down there to help out, so they're going to let this one go, but like, they initiated the lane swap. They wanted to give Twitch an easy lane. They wanted to shut down the Darius, but they're going to have to swap back because of this. Like, they're going to lose that opportunity.
That was another hook coming out of Mixcat. I'm So Fresh actually going to be pushing through here as well. He's just hit level 4. Thanks to the kills in that top lane as he comes through. So it looks like TCM, knowing that they're probably going to lose that bottom lane, are going to try for an early turret in the top.
They're going to have to make it happen here. It's the hook not lane, unfortunately, but that would have been nice. So I'm trying to think, can they actually go for this dive here? I mean, Zoro is very healthy. He has Flash, he has Ignite, and it looks like they can't go for it.
Yeah, deciding against that one. Zac, elastic slingshot right into the back of that minion wave, trying to get rid of him. Nasus now coming over to hold things down as well, so there's not going to be, or shouldn't be at least, a kill in that scenario. You never quite know when teams are going to go super crazy, but look at that. Sinners Never Sleep absolutely dominating this tower in the bottom lane, and that is going to be the first one of the match, finished off by the minions.
Even with the turret going down, though, Zoller is ahead in CS, and the AD carries are pretty much dead even. So in the end, it's not a terrible trade, but it depends on how the teams react to this. It depends on how they come off the back of losing that turret, or coming off the back of getting that turret.
So middle lane, a lane that we've barely even looked at here. It's 44 to 34 CS. Karthus having the advantage from that side of things. Really making sure that these traps are all in position here and not going to get caught out. But Sinners Never Sleep are coming up to this middle lane. They look like they want to get in behind Italy as Tab stands right on a trap, and that will stop any of that.
So this is the reaction that happens. So if you take a turret early on, and then the turret that you took, that person freezes their lane, which it looks like Zoller is doing, that gives you a sign to, hey, I'm going to roam around. Like your AD carry supports roams around, puts pressure mid lane, puts pressure top lane, and helps you get a turret. That way, like Zoller, either he lets like mid turret go down or lets potential kills happen around the map, or he pushes the lane. Like he has to decide. And it looks like he's pushing lane out right now because he can't afford to let, you know, the middle go down at this point. That's too much gold to be out of your hands. So when that happens, now, you know, Tabs and we will, Baylor will get some damage on the turret. They'll go back down to bot lane with a waste push up against them, and we'll have all street farm. Like that's the downside to having this happen if you don't lane swap right after.
Yeah, and that's the thing for Nidalee. What are you going to do with a bunch of minions there? You can't even get your spears off. As we are going to see him jump in for a little while. There was a spear, did manage to connect onto Tab, but, you know, Crystalline Flash, health pots, nothing really extra to add a punch to those spears. There's not much to talk about as Mixka is going to grab Zoro in here, and this could be bad news as Mixka has to flash away. This is surely a kill. It will be first blood coming in. Twitch does take down Darius afterwards, but nicely done to secure that first kill.
And you should be able to get some good damage onto this turret. We have Ice Rush heading towards the top side, but I don't know if that's the... Actually, no, that is the right move because you have Zoller in the middle lane right now just trying to help out because they don't want that turret go down. And Twitch getting kills, that's always a big thing. Like Nunia, yeah, he picked up a kill. They got an assist over to Zoro, but if you can get kills onto Nunia, or to Nanook, sorry, then he is going to get so strong late game. Yeah. Yes, I said it.
Definitely getting stronger, that Twitch, into the late game. Added awkward silence just to emphasize the point. So, Answer Fresh here is right now doing what he did great in game number 2, which was counter jungling. He's in on the enemy blue buff. And Nasus has been called into work in this top lane for so long that he's probably just forgot about that one, and that will even be going over here. So a nice pickup again from I'm So Fresh.
Yeah, that was
and
really
they have
smart.
No idea that it's gone.
Yeah, that was really smart because you're denying away from Karthus. Like if you don't let him get that move, as we see, Mixa might get caught here, might go down.
Yeah, and we are going to see the Karthus ultimate being thrown out there as well. And we do have a level 6 Zoro. Where's the dunk? There it is. One kill coming in. Can they get number 2 as well? Cleanse use. There's a second dunk. It's a double kill for Zoro.
And you don't want to get a Darius fed. That was so well played by Sinners Never Sleep right there. Getting those kills onto him. He's just going to build straight tank as Darius. And now they're going to push this turret, and they should be able to get it pretty low. And you have Nuke Duck coming up towards the mid lane here. And it looks like they might go for a push on this turret yet again.
Yeah, this is great play from Sinners Never Sleep. That turret is going to fall. There's no way that they're going to stop that one. As we also see the red team pinging over towards that outer turret in the top lane as well. Not really sure what the communication is going to be from that one, but Nuke Duck and Tabs are still pushing this middle lane. This is going to be 3 outer turrets taken down before the 10-minute mark.
3 unanswered turrets, and Dragon most likely very soon, because someone's had to stay top lane to keep that pushed out, and that allows 5 members of Sinners Never Sleep to take it easily. As long as they have, we have teleport coming into the bot lane. I'm not just trying to hold it in, but, you know, it forces TCM to react to it, but they're not really in a position to just yet.
Yeah, and Nuke Duck just going to go straight home after that one. Teleports in, go straight home. No worries. I see he does have that catalyst in there right now. Tier built up for Nidalee, and Geo having a bit of a better time now of getting some farm under his belt in this middle lane. He's had AD carry and support in there for the last 2 minutes or so. That tower, of course, is just one auto attack away from being taken down by Sinners Never Sleep. There is the blue buff going to be given over to Geo, and there is the tower finally going down.
And the thing is that TCM's not out in any way. Like, if they can keep getting Geo the blue buff, if he can get his death cap, they can just poke non-stop and really create opportunity for them to go for a fight that they feel like they can win. They're giving away this dragon because they know they can't really defend it, they don't have the vision, and they can't really do much about it because they'll fall too far behind if they engage.
That is now a 3,300 gold. Finally, Nanook is going to pick up turret number 1 for TCM this game. And now they're trying to close in on towards Gio. Gio Nunia going very, very low there. The Let's Bounce already knocking him up there. Is the ace in the hole as well? Flash crescendo. I'm So Fresh in trouble. Nunia got hit with the spear. Well, I'm So Fresh will have his passive popped. I'm not sure that they've got the damage to keep around, or the health really for that matter. And he will recombine and gets back up.
I like just watching it right there. But it still gives TCM an opportunity to push this turret a little bit, get it down a little bit in terms of damage. But you also have Zoller coming in. He's level 7, so he has finally been able to evolve his Void Spikes to be able to get some good poke in. But I don't think without their AD carry there, which, as I say that the nuke comes around, they really can't take the turret. So it looks like they will be able to pick it up.
Zero coming in around that other side now from the bottom lane.
Wow, that poke. You just saw a Nuke Duck drop below half health from the Void Spike and a spear hitting him. Like, that's what TCM wants to do. If they keep doing that, then they have this game. Like, they're not really behind as far as it looks like.
Nunez had to go get rid of the wave, pushing down that top lane as well. Zero still waiting in the wings here, so maybe they want to try something. They know his position there, TCM. We just saw the Void Spikes being thrown down in that general direction to stop him coming through. More spears, and got it against a comp like this, you can't lose focus at any point. You've got to be on your toes watching for those spears.
Yes, you do. And unlucky for them is that Sinners Never Sleep has a Karthus. Like, I mean, I say that, but it's because they can't really push up against a Karthus who can just clear the wave extremely quickly, not to mention a Caitlyn. And they don't really have the opportunity to put Twitch in a position to really attack the turret too much unless you want to see Thresh set really far back and put a Lantern down. So they don't really have great pushing power in terms of that, but they just want to poke as much as possible.
Let's have a look down the CS right now then. 18, or let's call it 90 to 18 in favor of Nidalee. Was behind Karthus for quite a while, so credit to Gio for turning that one around. 87 to 94 between the two AD carries, so not too much to talk about there. Kha'Zix, though, has a 20 CS lead over Darius, despite that double kill earlier from Darius.
You know what we can see, and I'm going to call it a little early because I feel like I might be right in the situation, is that we could see a very early Baron out of Sinners Never Sleep. So if Karthus gets a blue buff and you have Nasus, so if you have a level 11 Nasus and Nuke Duck get, at least past level 11, then they can take it down very quickly. And as long as they have a pink ward, they can stop it from being spotted at all. We've seen it happen before, and it might be something that, like, it's a ballsy play, it's like a high-risk, high-reward play, but it's also like a very safe play because you're not really going to get caught too easily.
As Mixer racing against time to get rid of that pink ward that was down from earlier on. I'm about to hit the 30-minute, wow, that would have gone quick, 13-minute mark of this game. Sinners Never Sleep holding on to that 3,000 gold lead at this point. In the driving seat, third and final game. If you just join us, you can see the score at the top of the scoreboard there, 1-1. The winner of this goes through into the playoff rounds for a place in the LCS Summer Split, nonetheless. Yeah,
the winner of this will actually play against, I did it again, play versus against All Authority, I believe tomorrow it looks like, for their chance to be in the Summer Split. I mean, we made this conversation quite a while ago about, actually, sorry, we do see Blue go over to Nunia. I wanted to point that out real quick before I go into this topic, but we mentioned before with the LCS teams, like, they had a hard time closing games out. Even SK, said, also told us, we have a hard time closing games out. When it hits that 40-minute mark, like, someone on our team will make a mistake and we'll lose. And Sinners Never Sleep kind of gives off a little bit of that in terms of they don't know where to go next, but it looks like they finally are going to start group a little bit. They're letting Nuke Duck split push just to get a little bit of extra farm. And I'm expecting something to happen, like, relatively soon.
Man, that's the interesting thing, that they took those 3 towers so nicely, as in they grouped up for them perfectly, they took them down without any real incidents. But since they've had those towers away, they've not really tried to capitalize on that scenario whatsoever. I mean, you see a couple of wards in the jungle from TCM, but honestly, if the likes of EG, of Fnatic, of Gambit get in this scenario, you'll see the enemy jungle full of wards.
Right. Because they want to strangle them on gold income, and it looks like even the Nuke is freezing the lane at bottom. You saw him cutting that wave a little bit earlier, because, if they realize if Sinners Never Sleep lets us farm up, like, we're going to destroy them. Like, if they just keep letting them farm, they're letting them get their own jungle, just like you're mentioning. They're letting them get farm in lanes. They're going to catch up in items. They're going to catch up in gold, and they're going to make it so the advantage that you had is gone.
We'll see I'm So Fresh and Zero just meeting for a little while. So I'm So Fresh will catapult himself away. We've got a pink ward on Baron. 14.5 minutes into the game. Jason, where's your crystal ball?
I'm getting a little excited, but the thing is, Nuke Duck doesn't have a blue buff, so that creates a little bit of a hard time. But you are seeing them, like, they're grouping up for it. They want to make this happen, And this might have been the big play that we've been waiting for. Instead of like, you know, going for turret pushes where they could lose out and could fall behind it to the point that they couldn't take it, they're going for Baron. Exactly 15-minute Baron, Joe.
Possibly. At least they're going to attack it at 15 minutes. We'll see if they're able to actually take it down here without incident. But there is no vision there. There's no vision there whatsoever.
And look what Caitlyn and Son are doing. They're distracting the middle lane. That Baron is going down extremely quickly with that card that's there and with the ultimate from Nasus. They're going to get this for free.
Yeah, they are going to take this Baron. There's no doubt that that one's going to go in there. Nice call, Jason. And that is a massive pickup for Sinners Never Sleep. Already ahead in the game. And that just makes it even more difficult. And I would love to have been looking at the player cam there from TCM's point of view when they see that spinning purple Baron buff. Like, damn it.
Yeah, and also the really nice thing for a Baron is so it gives them obviously the extra stats with the regen. So they can withstand this poke that TCM's going to put to them when they're trying to siege these turrets down. And they have a Caitlyn, so they have the opportunity to do it. And they don't really have a actually, no, yeah, they don't. They don't really have a hard engage onto Caitlyn in the back line. So Tab should be free to attack the entire time and really get these turrets low.
Well, the Dragon is now up as well, and it looks like Sinners Never Sleep going to walk in and take that one away as well. Yeah, why not? Now, we said that they didn't have many wards in the jungle of TCM, but if you're going to take Baron and another Dragon here at 15 minutes, it's not bad. It's not bad.
That's a good trade-off, and especially how the items they're going to be picking up here. We have the Bloodthirster on Caitlyn. Rada Age is now picked up on a Nuke Duck, so he'll be tanking up to sit in the middle of TCM. You have a Sunfire Cape and a Giant Spell done for Zoro. As you see engage happening on Tabs in the mid lane, but he should be able to escape. If TCM could have picked that up, that would have been nice, because it would have shut down their entire Baron push, but unfortunately they didn't get it, and Tabs was able to get away.
Yeah, actually using his flash there to make sure that he doesn't get caught out. And the Oracle on from Sona as well. He's doing some good work. Zoro has constantly been pushing this top lane out as well. Looks like he wants to try and steal away this golem from Zola.
Look at the health difference between these two. Like, this is going to be such a one-sided fight if Zoro does catch him and Zola doesn't have that leap available.
Zoro just gaining a level there as well. He's now 2 above Zola. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. He's going to come around the corner, jump away from Zola. And he doesn't want any part of that one, surprisingly enough.
Luckily for Zola, though, he did hit level 11 right there, so he just evolved that leap, which is going to be a necessity for him in these fights. And so, you know, Sinners Never Sleep, they got Baron, they got Dragon, haven't done anything just yet. And I don't know if that's whether they just wanted to pick it up just to deny it away, get some early experience advantage, get some early gold, or if they actually do plan on making a push here relatively soon, as they are grouped up the mid lane. Nuke Duck's still sitting bot lane. He has teleport, hasn't really used it this game except going bottom once, but he always can join in the fight. And we saw how amazing Zoro was with this teleport. I wonder if Nuke Duck is just as good.
Let's see then. We have Karthus coming up towards this middle lane. We will fail at getting rid of the wards on the red side of the TCM jungle. That'd be the red buff side. Of course, the entire TCM jungle is technically red if you look at it in that way. And a way off here. Those Nidalee Spears just trying to put down some good damage. I mean, at max range now with that Xerath Embrace finish for GOGO. Gonna definitely do some good damage, as we are going to see Wall of Pain go down, but they don't really want to put the Pain in there just yet. They want to take turrets.
Yeah, look how fast that dropped too. That was about like 7-8 seconds of auto-attacking it. Now that we're pushing up to this inhibitor turret here, and they have the wards if they want to actually spot it out, but instead they're going to play it like systematically. They're going to take the second middle turret, they're going to take the top middle turret, probably the bottom middle turret, accumulate this gold lead, and then just take it home.
Yeah, that's what the plan definitely is right now. That top wave, of course, had been pushed out a little bit, but that won't take too long to get back in position. You just need to be careful not to get poked down too much, because TCM know that that will be their chance to win a fight. Right. If they manage to land a max range spear onto Tabs or to We Will Failure, probably the prime 2 targets at this point, then they'll probably end up with Zac Elastic Slingshot right into the back and try and go as ace in the hole. Will take almost half of Zola's health away. Luckily for him, got that Nidalee there to help him heal up.
And look in the bot lane, we have Karthus just split pushing right now. Nuke Duck should be able to get that turret without anything or anyone there to stop him at this point, and that's just a great job by Sinners Never Sleep. And I love the item that Taz picked up, because if he does get hit with a spear, he should be able to lifesteal it back up with the healing from We Will Failure, as they're just going to back away, take a free turret off of it, and probably go back and buy soon. I think they're sitting on relatively good gold right now. They should have quite a bit.
Should be fairly healthy on that front. TCM actually moving over towards that red buff. They want to get that secured for Twitch. That turret in the bottom lane is going to finally fall. The minions take that one down. Kha'Zix's not quick enough to react. and stop them losing that. So it's 5-1 in turrets, 3-1 in kills. And I tell you what, Jason, it's approaching a 10,000 gold lead. It's really not far away.
I was just going to mention that because if you look at the items currently that TCM has, like, look at Zoller, no item completed. Like, he needs his Bloodthirster. Like, if he wants to poke, he needs that item to really do a lot of damage. We look at, I'm so fresh, he has his like, one of his main items built up, but it's not enough. Like, he's not tanky enough right now to do anything at this point. We have the Zera's Embrace done, and it's a good item, but it seemed like he really needed that death cap. Like, they're not really doing a hard engage onto you as TCM. They just taking the game one step at a time. But we finally do have the Infinity Edge done for no nuke. So they have that luckily, so that spray and pray is really going to work out. Maybe a Blade of the Rune King to come in right after that to do a lot of damage. Then you look over at Tabs, though. I mean, has his last Whisper already, has a Bloodthirster. You can't really build enough armor to counter that anymore.
No, it's going to be difficult, that's for sure. I'm going to have to rely on Geo to get some magnetic spears out there. You know, those ones that always hit me that I'm sure bend around corners when they get close to me. That's what they could do with here to get things rolling. This wave is going to be taken down by Nuke Duck. With that blue buff on, Carth's so fast at pushing waves out.
This could have been the engage that TCM was waiting for, because I don't think Unsurprised was spotted going into that bush. But you're very right. I mean, Carthus is blue with the damage he has right now. He's getting towards that death cap very soon. He's just going to hurt. Not to mention that ultimate against a team that doesn't have a runic bulwark and doesn't really have much magic resist.
With that warden is actually going to pull Geo into this one. We are going to see Ace in the hole that manages to actually get through. There's the dunk from Zoro0 to pick up the kill. And that will be an easy one. He was stood on top of the ward the entire time. And we saw Mixka trying to block the Ace in the hole, but it slithered through.
The bullet.
Slithered through to manage to do that damage that they wanted. There's Wall of Pain down, and they're just trying to zone him completely out of range of this turret.
I think it's Baron's up in 30 seconds, Dragon's up in 30 seconds.
I never thought we'd be saying that 21 minutes, 50 seconds into this game.
Exactly, and with this turret, like, they can go back, they can go pick it up, they can go back and, or they can pick a Dragon right after that, go back and buy, and come back with, like, a completed Randuin's, come back with a completed Death Cap, not to mention at least a Zeal. Like, they are looking very strong to take this game. I mean, it's going a little slow, but it's like step by step. Like perfection.
Tab's just losing out. Actually, that blue buff that was picked up by Nuke Duck early would make that Baron even easier at this point. You can see there that TCM saying, right, we need to have it warded this time. We cannot afford to lose another Baron.
I'm curious, is Zach staying on a ward right now? Because that might be the time. Okay, no, he's not. So let's say that could have been the time for Sinister Sleep to rush it. But Karthus is bot lane. He does have teleport available still. But it doesn't look like they're going to just go for Baron like right when it comes back up. So if anything, they at least created that fear to TCM, knowing that they weren't 100% sure. Well, actually, they were pretty sure when the Baron was up, but they didn't know where Sinister Sleep was actually going to be and if they were going to rush it. And especially since they lost Geo, they had to be really careful.
And right now, Karthus, of course, pushing down that bottom lane. Teleport is up, so could TP in there. Help with the Baron if they decide to go that way. Sona did just come back into things. Got a pink ward in there as well, so probably going to stick that outside the Baron anyway. I mean, it just means that she doesn't have to be there when those wards are constantly coming in.
That's actually, it's a really smart play too, because you can be around clearing wards and let the rest of your team pick those off. And you know, we talk about split pushing a lot, and the counter split pushing is kind of split pushing back, so to say, depends on how far you get behind. But who on TCM can deal with Nuke Duck? Like, I'm not sure there's anyone that can really take him 1v1. They actually, maybe Twitch can, since he has cleanse, but he's hooking the Baron in the eye right there. But they are going to be taking this Dragon here, getting a lot of extra gold.
Yeah, that Dragon, different order this time around. Take the Dragon. Will they go up towards Baron? And that will actually give us almost, we're at 9,500 gold right now. 4-1 in kills, 6-1 in turrets. We can't ever underestimate how much of a role that turret lead is playing into this game, though.
Yeah, 6-1. That is just insane. That's so much gold that's stored up for them. And you know what? I don't think Baron's actually going to be done. Or I don't think Sinister Sleep is going to go for it anytime soon, because they have the gold lead.
Why?
There's no point in them throwing the game. Like, if TCM gets a steal, everything they just work towards, at least a good portion of what they work towards, just gets mitigated. And there's no point in going for that when you have, you know, almost a 10,000 gold lead at this point.
Well, they're certainly going to clear out wards and make it so that TCM have to invest into that. There we do see finally that pink ward coming down, and Failure and Tabs going to get rid of that one. So Vision all gone, a 0-0. Gonna spot I'm So Fresh here. That was an interesting move from I'm So Fresh. He decides to slingshot his way over towards the tri-bush. He's just saying, if you try Baron again, I'm going to do a drive-by.
Yeah, and we've seen it on Reddit and YouTube videos, and he might be able to pull it off, and if he does, that would be the lifesavers team needs right here. Because they're essentially a poke comp at this point with the Kazakhs, with the Nidalee. If you fall behind with a poke comp, you kind of stay behind. It's really hard for you to get back in the game.
There's Nuke going in, and he's going to be getting himself that ward taken away. Mixka actually taking some damage already. 0-0. They're going to get caught out, and they're throwing everything in. Nuke Duck's actually gone in the back there, and they're going to try and push through for this one. Look how low TCM are going from it. Karthus goes down, but his ultimate is going to be coming up from this one as well. Can Zola escape? They're going to go back, make sure that Zac doesn't recombine from this one. That will be a 2-for-2 actually in the end. But TCM, you can see how they're flashing there on the right-hand side of your screen. And it looks like Sinners Never Sleep are going to go for Baron number 2.
And it was a 2-for-2 trade. It wasn't bad in the end, but TCM lost their jungler. Like, Twitch is able to pick up a kill. Kazakh is able to get on the board too, but it's just not enough. And with the damage Taz has, they should be able to take this Baron unless they can intervene, unless they can stop him here. And they're not going to be able to.
They can't. I mean, they're going to be basically relying on spears at this point to really do some damage to them. Trying to block it here. I mean, Weevil Feather's got plenty of health, so you can probably block a spear coming in there, plus those Void Spikes as well. As Karthus now going to teleport in, and there's a finisher with a Piltover Peacemaker from Tabs. They pick up Baron, and that is another great play out of Sinners Never Sleep. Are they going to be going and pushing for what could end up being a final push, you know?
It really could, yeah. I mean, we have currently Zoller down, they have the regen, they have the poke, they have the ability to get these turrets down very quickly. Just waiting for 0-0 to come back from the grave into this middle lane here. And they're just brute forcing it down. Like, there's nothing TCM can do in this fight. They have to let that inhibitor go.
They got such great damage on that turret as well, especially with Nasus in there. He's hammering away. We'll have to see how much damage is managed to accumulate on that cube right now.
That was a max range spear that hit Tabs and only took him down about a fourth to a third of life.
Yeah, and that's the AD carry who, you know, in theory should be the one that takes most of that damage out. But that will be the first inhibitor of the game down. Top wave is actually pushed out quite a bit here, so it wouldn't surprise me to see Sinners Never Sleep just push that one back out before they go for their next target. Or they might just prove me wrong, stick around here in bottom lane.
Yep. I mean, what they can do right now, it looks like Nuke Duck is going to be backing right now. Actually, they're all going to be backing. I was going to say, what they can do is just siege away at it, let the middle lane push, and then you'll be fine. But it looks like they want to buy up. You have 2,600 gold on Caitlyn right there, as we just saw. Going to be building up, it looks like, towards an Infinity Edge right now. And, I mean, that's a lot of items coming in. You just see them popping up all over the screen, and like Christmas lights, and that's not a good sign for TCM. They have to make some sort of play here. If they let the inhibitor fall, then they have to fight on the next one. Like, they cannot let 3 fall, or the chances of coming back is slim to none.
And there's Karthus taking about 400 gold from that wave. There were a lot of minions in there. That's going to be helping him. I've got that death cap in now with that Rod of Ages from earlier on, and he's going to be pushing straight through onto this top lane. Blue buff may just go over to Nooney. We've been seeing him pretty much the entire time picking up this blue buff. I think only one blue buff went to Karthus from their side.
I believe so, yeah. Because they've been doing a good job of stealing away the enemy blue buff on top of that. You know, I'm taking a look at items again real quick, because it doesn't look like we're going to have a fight breaking out anytime soon. Is that, you know, Zoller is able to get his Bloodthirster done finally. He's going towards the last Whisper, so his damage is really, it's getting there. Like, him and Nidalee are really getting there on damage. If they can poke, then they can, you know, they can still win a fight, but when Sinners Never Sleep has Baron, they can't do that. Like, they have to wait for the Baron to finish, and then they have the opportunity to do something like that.
Alright, 0-0 pushing this middle lane right up, and that's going to be a massive thing here for Sinners Never Sleep. If they can get those super minions streaming into the base, which, you know, they eventually will, then they're going to force someone from TCM to leave this top turret on its own. Are they going to go for this one? Wall of Pain Mixer. Look how much damage goes in onto that one. There goes Ace in the hole. Will land onto Geo as well. Half of his health already gone by that as the Let's Bounce comes in from the backside. But is it going to be enough? There's a lot of damage coming down. What a crescendo as well. The dunks coming in. Second one didn't quite connect for him there, but Karthus should be able to finish things off. And there is the ace coming out from Sinners Never Sleep. They're going to take down TCM here in our third and final game of the best of 3 and move through into the next round to play against All Authority for a chance at being in the LCS Europe Summer Split. Fantastic game. They were 1-0 behind in this best of 3. We can't forget that.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, they earned it right there. Out of that game, that was just so perfectly well played, step-by-step, systematic. And that's what you need to be an LCS. You have to be really good like that.